Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're doing a video that I actually should have done like over a year ago. It's actually been close to 2 years that I've been meaning to make this video. So about 2 years ago, I did a solo overnight in the woods in Houston. And I had put together pretty much a general survival slash bug out bag that I had used for that video. And I'd used a backpack that I got on Amazon. And it worked okay, but just a normal tactical backpack. And it was fine, it had the waist buckle, didn't have the actual kidney pad or anything like that. It was an okay backpack, not really meant for what I used it for. Now, luck would have it, probably about 2 days after I did that video, I visited a Army surplus store there in Houston, and I got this backpack right here. This is a surplus, a U.S. surplus field pack, and I'm not sure exactly what the weight is on it, and this thing here is huge. It gives me all the room and everything I need for packing up for everything I did. Now, let's talk about, briefly, kind of what your backpack should be and what you should pack it for. And that's going to be different for every situation. So, there are different ranges of backpacks. You could have, if you're going to go off of military standards, they have day packs. They have assault packs that are meant for like 2 days. And they have these big field packs that are meant to be used for, longer engagements, getting out there, having all your stuff on it like this. If you're going off the military standard, they got like 3 or 4 different ranks of what size bag you use and how you pack it for what. Now, when we're talking civilian or general preparedness bags, normally we talk about bug out bags, which this could be considered a bug out bag the way that I have it packed up. Although I would say that I have it a bit more heavy, hardcore, heavy duty set up for a lot more things. Now, the way I got this bag loaded up, I have almost everything in here plus some extra stuff that I had on that backpack in that video. And, I'll show some clips here from that video when I did that with that backpack. Now, of course, in this bag, it actually fits a lot better in this bag. And it's easier to lug around. It's got the frame on it, which it's got the frame, it's got the kidney pads, all that stuff. Makes this bag a lot easier to carry. And to be honest, yes, it's huge and it's heavy. I don't know how much it weighs. Probably weighs between 60 and 80 pounds. But once you got it on your back, everything's strapped up, it's honestly not that bad. Y'all have seen me do some videos where I literally am running and doing shooting drills with this backpack on my back. It's not so bad. The frame, if you're going to be using a bag for any kind of long-term actual hiking, you're going to have to really be doing a lot of walking. I really recommend finding something that's got one of these back frames on it. They do sell hunting backpacks, hiking backpacks that have these. But to be honest, a lot of these military surplus bags are going to be the cheapest you're going to get with this, with this frame here, and this makes the difference. And to be honest, you could buy this frame, I think, for like 50 or 60 bucks, and then you could attach any backpack you want to this frame and then have a better setup with whatever you have. These bags do range. I've seen them as low as 60 bucks all the way up to like 200 bucks. It depends on where you're buying them from, what you look up for. I am going to be actually looking at buying another field pack to replace this one as my main bag to use. I'm looking at a Romanian 90-liter field pack to use. And there's mainly the camouflage is the main thing, but it has a bigger day pack you can remove off the side of it to carry with you during the, for shorter trips, like say if you set up your camp, but you're going to go scout this out, you don't want to carry a whole bunch of stuff with you. It has a small pack you can load just for that. But definitely you want something with the frame, because that definitely makes carrying it a lot easier. Plus it takes a lot of the weight off your back, off the straps and stuff like that. You're not carrying so much directly on you, and the weight's more spread out. So basically, so let's kind of go over how I've got this one set up with just the stuff I have set up external just for the basic layout. So one of the first things I have is I have a compass that's right here on my chest, and I got that right here. That way I can easily pull out this compass, and it is a full compass that I can actually, you could really navigate with this type of compass right here. And then it also has the instructions with it right there like that. So I keep one compass on here, and I do have a another thing that's a theme with this bag is redundancy. I do have almost a lot of the really important life-saving tools like a compass, knife, fire starting, stuff like that. I have multiple versions of that in the bag. And you're going to see that here when I start actually unpacking this bag. So as soon as I can get these instructions back in this case, get that reclamped. So next setup I have is I have an axe on here. And this is a small, it's not a full wood splitting axe, but it's got about the head the size of a hatchet. But it does have a longer, straighter handle on it. So you can hold this up tight like a hatchet, you use it like a hatchet, or you can use it a little bit longer like a wood splitting axe. You're probably not chopping down a tree with this, but you could if you really had to. Now, I apologize, the table's going to be moving around a lot because, well, the bag's heavier than the table is, so when I have to move the bag around, my table moves. Okay, so next up, I have the two dump pouches that come with this bag that are standard with this bag. They're normally down here at the bottom, but I moved them up to the top. And the reason I moved them up to the top is because I have lighter stuff up top that I packed inside of those. Then I have 4 MOLLE mounted pouches down at the bottom. 3 of them are general pouches that hold stuff, and 1 is a canteen, and I'll show that later on. And then I do have this small little kind of pack here. This actually was the pack that came with my first original backpack, but I decided to go ahead and attach it to this bag too. So I do have a small kind of bandolier / waist pack that I can use with it, and then attached to that I have a saw. So let's kind of go over what I have mainly here on the bag. So first of all, I do have a saw here, and this is, it's a good little saw. This is very sharp. That way you can cut some smaller limbs, cut notches and stuff. Real similar to a lot of survival saws, but the reason why I picked this saw here because it does have a basic little Phillips on the blade. So if you really had to, you could take this blade off and lash it to a long stick or something like that and get some more reach with it. Or you could lash the handle directly to a stick. It's got that real simple lock. Now, when I built this bag, one of the things that I was really kind of aiming towards was long-term survival and being able to set up a base camp pretty soon and have a lot of stuff you have. So I have, a lot of the bag is kind of aimed towards that. So in this side pouch here, I have a fire blower here, so you can blow this out to blow and stoke flames on a fire. I have these little tea light candles. These are really good for starting fires, and real easy to get going. I do have some pain reliever that's probably expired. Do have a small measuring tape. Now, you might say, yes, okay, so some of this stuff really isn't necessary. Like, do you really gonna need a measuring tape for survival? But, like I said, this is set towards, being able to set up a camp relatively fast and easy where you can operate off of a camp and have everything you need to get going and not have to worry so much about starting fires, staying warm, stuff like that. So that's in that small pouch there on that side. And close that back up. Small pouch on the other side here. I have this small little light, and I have actually not turned this on in 2 years. And you can see it's fully powered up. The reason why I picked this little light here is because you can actually, see, I believe you just kind of pop it open like so. And it is a small light that can be used to light up your tent. And then also it is solar powered, so you can recharge it, and you can use this as a power bank to charge up your phone or any other, device that's powered by USB. So this is a really neat little light. This is Kaizen. I can't remember how much I bought this on Amazon for, but it was pretty cheap. Then, of course, I got the charging cord for it. That's all I have inside of that pocket right there. Then pop this one here, so I can get to the main 2 zippers on this small bag here. So on the small bag here, I have a thing of hand sanitizer, and this is good for a couple of different reasons. It can be used to not only disinfect wounds, but also as a fire starter agent. And I have, like I said, one of my little backup compasses, and I believe that's all I have in this particular pocket right here. Now, and this is also a bag that I leave packed like this all the time, because you never know. Now, this main bag here are a couple of things here. So I have the strap. This goes to this bag here, so you can actually lash it up onto you, use it like that. I do have a small flashlight here. I do have some of my redundancy knives. This is actually my very first set of cleaning knives. I have a real old, one of my first early reviews back about 6 years ago was on this knife kit that's made by Remington. I keep this in here for food processing. Okay, that's it in this particular pocket right here. I think this bag has one more pocket. I thought it did. Maybe it don't. Okay, maybe this thing just doesn't have another pocket. So that's it for this this day bag here. Let me close this back up. Alright. Now, one of the things that I really like about when I set up bags is I have a lot of fun setting stuff up. So like reorganizing this bag to get everything to fit the way I want it to and be tied down and everything. I have fun with that. So, I have stuff kind of set up very intentionally on this bag. We'll turn over to the side pockets here. So, these 2 small pockets on this particular pouch, I don't have anything in at all. But you could definitely put some small stuff in there. This bag here, I have, this is actually a waterproof bag cover. So, for instance, I'm out hiking, and of course this table can move, and it starts to rain. I can take my axe off, and I can put this over my bag completely, if I have the right way. and tie it up. And then this is going to help keep my bag dry. And that's something really important. A lot of things that people don't really think about too much is keeping your bag and stuff dry. If I'm in camp, I can put this over and then keep it dry. And also, you could use this to tie up and then use for small cover if you have to. You could even, if you really needed to, use this like a small poncho or something like that. You know, none too crazy. But I do think something like this that'll keep your gear dry is kind of important. I do intend at some point, there are a couple things that I do need to put in this bag that I am kind of lacking. Where I need some bank line, and then I need a poncho for me, and then I need a, if I can get this tightened up in here. And this is one of those things where you usually aren't going to unload it, but I have it on the bag because you never know if you're going to need something to stay dry or keep your gear dry. But I need to add a bank line. I need a small tarp. There's something else. And then I need some more medical stuff. So in this back pocket right here, now I have to flip the bag over. So we can see this pocket right here. Open this up. And then you can see this is where I have all my paracord and stuff. So, got the paracord here in this pouch. Now let's go ahead and spin the bag over again. And then right here we have our canteen. So, open the canteen here. What's going on with this here? Now, the canteen, I went ahead and did the actual stainless steel with the cook kit on it. So you can open this up and use this like a cup or a small cooking pot if you need to. But it's always a good idea to get the canteen that's like that. That way you can make sure that, you know, I keep this full of water all the time, because you never know. And then also, you know, the utensils and stuff like that are always good to have. And then of course this pouch does have two more little pockets on it. You can keep other stuff in as well. Also, I don't have anything in it. Then we go over to this last little pouch here, and I got a rag. This is good for filtering water, stuff like that, dressing wounds. You can always carry stuff in it. I have, you can see, 2 large glow sticks, a little emergency ration almond bar, and then probably one of the most important things you could possibly have, a bottle of Louisiana hot sauce. If you don't have this, you will die. You will 100% die if you don't have a bottle of Louisiana in your bag. Have this in your bag. You need this. You need this. And then, you know, I got a few more granola bars and stuff in here. Stuff that, you know, little emergency rations, stuff, you know, you never know when you might be hungry, you don't need a bar or something like that. You'd be surprised, something like this could last you a while. See how many calories. It's got 110 calories. I mean, better than nothing. Having a few extra bars and stuff like that stacked away in your bag can really save you. Oh, I forgot the rag. Can really save you if you're first now getting started and you can't find food. You'd be surprised how much something like that will get you going and keep you going. All right, so that's the exterior stuff. Let's take a look at the 2 dump pouches. So, first we're going to look at this right dump pouch here. Pop that up. Actually, we'll do the dump pouches after we do the inside, because inside of the bag is actually kind of blocking it. So, pop these two latches here. And up top, I have the military surplus one-man tent. And you've seen this tent actually when I did the solo overnight. This is one of the smallest compact tents that I can find. These run about 120 to 150 bucks online. I don't know what they currently are, but I think I spent 150 bucks on this tent. And one of the reasons why I like this tent is, one, it's a one-man, so it's small, it's light, it's compact, and then it has, one of the things I really like about it is it has a storage area outside of the tent for you to keep your bag and stuff like that. So I have a tent, and then I do have extra poles, stakes, stuff like that inside of here, because that stuff may, yes, it's extra weight, but you never know when that could come in handy. So, into the main chamber of the bag now. And some of this stuff isn't 100% necessary. Some of this stuff's left over from when I did that overnight. I got a pack of antibacterial wet wipes. Another little thing of wet wipes there. Those I normally keep in the bag, like if I'm doing, like it's not so much of a serious thing. The room that these take up can be used for something else. Next thing I have is this cooking set right here. Now, this could be really important. Let me see if I can prop that up like that. This could be really important if you're doing long-term survival, because having a camping set, cooking set like this opens up a lot of options. So first of all, this is aluminum, so it's really light on its own, and it is made to be held up like this on a stick. You can use a stick or something like that. I actually have a tripod kit for a campfire that can be used. It's made for a tripod. It can be adjustable. Has a chain and a hook, so you can hook this kit up on that, and you can boil water, cook with it, whatever. So I do have that. Now I do have more inside of the kit as well. One of my emergency rations I keep, an MRE, that is probably expired, but this is grilled chili mac and cheese. Okay, this is literally like the best tasting MRE. And is this expired? Probably is. I mean, even if it's expired, it's safe to eat. I don't know what the expiration date is. Whatever. I would feel comfortable eating an MRE like this in 10 years. No problem. Another thing I keep, this is roasted eel. I put this in here actually when I was last year. I was going to be, actually I think it was this past spring, I was going to be doing a solo overnight on a desert island, which I'm still going to do, but my boat broke down, which you just see in my video. I just got my boat motor running again. So I packed this on there, and I am going to eventually do that video again. It's going to be overnight on a desert island, but before I do that, I'm probably going to be doing a solo overnight while duck hunting, and that might be in a couple weeks. Then I have a little multi-eating tool here. This is like a little spork, and opens up, and it's got a knife, serrated edge, some little holes and dashes like that you can use to get leverage with it. You can use it as a can opener. And then this also doubles as a whistle. So, neat little survival tool to have right there. And I do have one regular fork in here. Then I have another cooking setup here. So I do got another little flat pan, a bag of mixed nuts, bag of oatmeal, another little pot in here, and then this can be used as a pan to cook, as so. So, fully rationed out in an area where there are some natural resources, there's at least natural water, the amount of food that I have in here could keep you for at least a week. No problem before you really start having issues. Now, of course, if you can't find water, that does become a problem quite fast, as water is the main thing you need. You can go without food for almost a month before you start really dying. Water, you need water within 7 days. One canteen, that's just enough for, depending on where you're at, that might only last 1 day. You can maybe ration it out to 2, but only 1 day. However, having cooking utensils like this does give an opportunity to boil water, and you can drink some pretty nasty water if it is boiled down and made safe. And then, like I said, this bag here that it's all contained in, this can be used as well. You can use this to go forage for fruits, stuff like that. If you set up snares and stuff like that, you can set this up and carry your game back in it. You could probably use this as a trap. You can use this to net fish, stuff like that. Kind of, you have to think outside the box of what you can use stuff for. Everything I kind of picked kind of has multi-purpose in mind. Or it's got a very, very specific purpose that is important, that will keep you going or lead to other things. So I got that. I do keep a propane tank and a full cook system here for this propane tank to have a stove. If you can't get a fire going your first night, or my first night, I can set up a stove and I can cook if needed. Set up like that. I do have some more medicine for headache stuff. Over here on this side, I do have your basic little fold up survival shovel, and you know, you just unscrew this here, you can unfold it, screw it back, then you have your survival shovel. Another thing you can use this as, so you got your normal shovel like that, tighten it like this. Now you have a hoe, you can hoe with it. You do have serrated edges, so you could kind of use this as a saw. And then also, you can, I believe, loosen it up again. Hold it like this. And then you can, I've seen people use these as chairs, and you can sit on it like that. So, you know, the geometry of these are really, really useful. And they're good to have. They're pretty light. They're not the, how the hell this thing fold up? Yeah, folds up like so. So, you know, really good to have. Personally, having a long shovel is better. But then again, with a shovel like this, you could always lash this to a longer stick if you need to have a little bit more leverage. So we got the shovel. I got a couple other little things in here from just doing when I was going out to do that overnighter. I got some dude wipes, trash bags. You never know, that's be handy. Then I have right here, I have my machete set up. So nice little machete. It's got some use. Has a good saw edge on the back of it. Has a gut hook on it. Nice, long, thick blade. The reason I picked this specific one is it is full tang. Got a nice, good rubber grip on it. I wanted a straight blade machete with a saw, with a gut hook that is nice and thick, because you're not going to break this anytime soon. There are a lot of machetes that are really cheap. But another reason why I picked this specific machete is, once again, with my redundancies, I have another knife inside of here. And this knife is very sharp, Has a can opener on it. Has a couple tools for small bolts, stuff like that. Does have a, I don't know what these little notches are for. But this is one of those knives, you know, you can sit there and it's one of those things where you might not know that you really need it until you need it and you're like, oh, I have the perfect thing for that in the bag. But this is a really nice machete. Nice and heavy. You could do some chopping with this. I went with the Tonto tip because, well, you're not going to be using this to stab or anything like that. But that means when you're chopping, you can always have an edge that you know is going to be sharp. So I picked that machete. Plus it has a nice hard scabbard that you could take out and you could tie this up any way that you want. You could put this on your belt loop, on your belt for when you're when you got camp set up. You can lash this to your belt. I'm ready to go, and it's in the bag. Now that's it for the top pouch here. Now the bottom pouch here, on the bottom, I have the sleeping bag. I'm not going to drag it out because it's kind of stuffed in there, and I have to take this all off. But the sleeping bag I picked is a, you know, I could technically open up the zipper here on the inside. Yeah, let me see if I can get it from the top. Why is the zipper upside down? Okay, it's still in there pretty tight. But that's one of the things I like about this bag is it is got two separate chambers. So you got your top up here and you got your bottom. And it's built like that specifically so you can load your bag properly because you always want your sleep system down at the bottom where it's going to be lighter. Alright, so my card ran out of space on it, so I just had to swap out cards, which means I had to pack everything up so I can redo the last like 5 minutes of filming. Anyway, so now we got everything out of the top pocket, which I had pretty much my whole cook set, my tent, my machete, and some comfort things for, you know, when I was doing that overnight, which, you know, having these stuff in your bag isn't necessarily bad, but, you know, that's extra space you could have for other more important stuff. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start on this pocket on this side here. And I do have this little latch right here that attaches to the other end of this axe so it doesn't move around so much. I'm going to pop this open. And first off, I got this extra little butt pack here. You can put this on a belt. I have a strap in here so you can use it like a fanny pack or you can use it like a side pack. I can attach it to this bag here, so that's just more carrying capacity for like day excursions and stuff. I don't have much in here. I have some more of this MOLLE strapping and some more buckles so I can make more rigging to attach more stuff to this bag as needed in the field. I have, like I said, that strap so I can strap this up and carry it with me. And then there's still some more room in here to carry stuff in this bag here. So, you know, if I see more stuff, I can always, you know, add more stuff into this bag. Going up in here, I have these, which is the only other thing that I have in this bag. But you see that there's quite a bit of room in here. But these are actually something I saw. And these are technically called, well, the tarp clips. They're heavy-duty tarp clips. But the way they work is it has this jaw and this threaded little thing here. And basically what you can do is you can take a tarp or any fabric whatsoever and you can tighten it down like this. And then tie it with your bank line or something like this. So if you need to make a quick shelter, you can attach like this. And then also if it's windy conditions, this will save your tarps a lot easier than using the O-ring or the rings that are in the tarp, because you can clamp on directly to that thickest folded over section along the edge of the tarp. So I got a bunch of these. Another thing you could also use these for is if you're actively hunting and trying to make like leather or something like that, or dry a skin or a pelt, something like that. You can use these to stretch the skin out. That way you can dry it properly in the sun in open air. So those are kind of neat that I have in there. And a lot of this stuff I sourced from Amazon. You know, just looking through Amazon, looking at stuff here, really kind of picking everything out for the purpose, specifically what I wanted to use it for. The next thing I have in here is I have this bag, which is cut up. This other little pouch here, and this is basically my first aid and small general survival stuff. I think most of the stuff that's in this pouch actually came in this pouch as a kit from Amazon. I don't think it was too expensive. I don't remember. But first of all, got a small little first aid kit. Got your gloves, scissors, safety pins, tweezers, stuff like that. Just a little first aid kit. Not going to be, you know, stitching up, you know, wounds or fixing broken legs and stuff like that. But this will get you through most small injuries. Do have another flashlight. I have one of these little, you know, the paracord bracelets with a little compass in it. So it works. You just gotta sit there and float around, but you know, just another redundancy, but more paracord, so it's good. Do have another little knife here, pretty sharp. It's got a little carabiner built into it, so you could always you know, hook it on a belt loop. You could hook it on some of this MOLLE if you want a little bit faster access to it. I have another whistle. Then I have another compass. You know, like I said, 3 compasses. You know, I just like a little bit of redundancy on really important things. I have my basic little fire starter here. Let me see if I can get a good... Man, you know, the first time I did this when I wasn't on camera, made a really good spark. Whatever, it sparks. I just flung it across the room. Where did it go? Oh no. Did it fly off? It just fly off and over here somewhere. Okay, whatever, I'll have to find it. It does have, the stick does sit inside of this little rubber or plastic handle here, so, oh, there it is. So you do got to be kind of careful with that. Man, I just made good spark. It's always when I have to refilm something because the camera died or the card was full. The second attempt never is as good as the first. The first attempt, I pulled this thing off. Nice sparks right off the bat. Whatever. It sparks. Then I do have a multi-tool in here. Not going to talk about this too much because, you know, everyone knows what a multi-tool is. That also, once again, goes back to redundancy. You got knives, small saws, stuff like that in that. Small little fishing kit with some lures, you know, just some fishing line, couple hooks, stuff like that. Got some fire starting wick. And that's all that's on this side. I have one of those little hand diamond saws, the rope saws in here. Two more glow sticks. Some gauze. Then an emergency foil blanket. So, I don't know if the camera, I have to look, camera caught it, but on the sleeping bag, I picked a sleeping bag that's rated for 0 degrees Fahrenheit. And the reason I picked a bag that was that warm, even though it never gets that cold down here in South Texas is because, well, one, that acts as my whole sleep setup. So I'm not having to have cushion pads or anything like that because the sleep bag itself is thick enough to lay on top of in all weather and be used as padding. And then if for some reason I do need it for colder weather, I have the option to have a sleeping bag that is warm enough to keep me warm at night sleeping without any additional clothing on down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So, let's talk about the last bag in here, the last one of this dump pouches. And now this is really important for me down here in South Texas because mosquitoes. And that is this large military surplus bug net. This net is big enough to cover over my whole tent and a small area past my tent in order to keep bugs out. It's big enough that I could essentially put this down first and put my tent on top of it, then wrap it around my tent to be able to stop things like ticks from getting in. I think fire ants could probably still get through this, but anything larger than ants won't be able to get through this net. And then of course, being down here in South Texas, you know, I really, really, really like this because, you know, mosquitoes. I think this is actually technically center. And it has built-in ties on it, but this also goes with being able to be used with my tarp clips that I have. So that's everything that I carry inside this bag all the time. Now, like I said earlier, I know this is already kind of a long video, but like I said earlier, your bug out bag is always going to be packed for whatever scenario you think you might need to. You load it for the area that you're going to be probably bugging out to if you have to bug out. Now, this one here is set up specifically for South Texas. We don't have a whole lot of trees and stuff here like that. So, you know, some of the salt stuff like that's not super useful. However, if out into the brush country, out just, you know, outside of, you know, town and whatnot like that, a lot of this stuff is useful because, well, there's not a whole lot of tree cover. That's why I have a tent. That's why I have a mosquito net, stuff like that, is I can make a shelter with what I have in this bag and not have to worry about building a shelter. Building a shelter uses a lot of energy. And if you live in an area that doesn't have a lot of good natural resources for building a shelter, then you have to pack your bag for being able to have a shelter supplied in your bag. Now, having a tent right off the bat in your bag is awesome because that means I don't have to worry about not only building a shelter, but I don't have to worry about a shelter like, say, building a lean-to or bivvy, you know, shelter, something like that with a tarp. This is going to be far better. This will keep me dry. This will keep me insulated far better than any shelter that I could build with a reasonable amount of time. And I can set it up and get onto more important tasks, like, for instance, looking for food, water, etc., as opposed to spending time building a shelter. So kind of build your bag around not only what scenarios you might be bugging out from, but also the area that you might be bugging out into. Now, of course, when I would bug out with this, I would pick something here off the wall to take with me. A couple things. One is always going to be a handgun. I would be throwing a .22 in here and a bunch of ammunition. Couple hundred rounds of .22 for small game hunting can last you a very, very long time. And a couple hundred rounds of .22 long rifle are light enough to carry in this, no problem. Now, I originally had built my Henry AR-7 to go with this kit that be packed in here, but I never could get the accuracy out of that gun that I wanted, so I kind of got rid of that gun, and I'm kind of working towards something else that's going to be a little bit more versatile, but also should be much more accurate to go with this bug out kit. Now, another thing that's in my mind, if you're bugging out, ideally you want to bug out with somebody else. You want as many people as you can to help survive with is always going to make it easier and open up more options. And then also, say if you have, like, say for instance, your wife, your girlfriend, your buddy, and y'all build a bug out plan together, y'all can always separate out your bags and load your bags specifically to be carried by that person. For instance, if you have a girlfriend or a wife and she can't carry 60 to 100 pounds on her back, you can always load her up with a smaller bag and then move all the things for, like, say, cooking and your food, and have a bag that's just food, cooking, and medical supplies that's much lighter on hers, while you can have a bag that has more of the heavier survival stuff on it. You can have the axes, the knives, the tents, sleep bags, all the heavier stuff that doesn't have to be in that bag that you can put on your back. You can pack your bag for that, and then she can have the lighter bag. And then that also makes it a lot easier to where you can actually pack more stuff. But then if that's the case, well, then you might have to pack a larger tent for 2 people. If you're a couple going out, or if you're a buddy, make sure, well, he's going to have to carry his own tent as well, or some shelter stuff like that. Survival is possible to do by yourself, but it's always going to be easier with help. So that's always something to kind of think about. If you're thinking about bugging out and you got somebody who's like-minded that you know, build a bug out plan with them. Have them build a bag too. Coordinate with them. Say, hey, look, we're going to bug out together. This is going to be the place we're going to bug out to. We're going to bug out together or meet there. Let's coordinate our bags so we can have a larger complement of survival tools to make our survival easier, while each being a little easier on each other. So that's always something to think of. But anyways, guys, like I said, I do want to upgrade to a different bag for this one. One, because of the camo. This camo is actually not too bad for my area because it's scrubland and stuff. Actually, this stuff would match pretty good most of the year. Oh, my ear just popped. But, you know, I do want to upgrade to that Romanian rucksack. But these here are pretty good. They do give you a lot of options, a lot of room. There's still a lot of stuff in here I don't use. Like, for instance, I got this pouch up here. I could always put stuff in, clothes, documents, maps, stuff like that. There's a lot of options that this bag really opens up, just as long as your mind really is open to it. And to be honest, you could, if you can sew, you could add more molly to this stuff and be even more creative. For instance, I could always attach this bag up here on top, like this, and then have a little bit more carrying options, you know? So that's always something to consider. It's how you're going to set up your bag. And a bag with options is always going to be better than an off-the-shelf bag from Walmart, the camping area, something like that. I highly recommend looking at these military surplus rucksacks. They're just going to give you so much more carrying capacity. They're going to have the frame, and they're going to be a lot easier for you to pack efficiently and properly and have more gear on and be more comfortable on your back with this. So that's it, guys. That's pretty much, this is my current bug out bag setup. Like I said, it's not optimal. There's stuff I want to add to it. Stuff that necessarily don't have to be in this bag all the time that I put in here for special occasions. But then again, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, anyways, you guys, set up a bug out bag, set up a bug out plan if you don't have property. Ideally, if I had property to stay on, like 10 acres or so like that, I had a well, I had animals, I could grow crops on it, I wouldn't bug out. I would plan on hunkering down on that property and defending that property, because that property gives me all the easy supplies to survive, as opposed to bugging out into the woods. Bug out should be your last real, really your last option. You don't want to bug out unless you have to. At least that's how I am in my thought. Now, of course, there's always exceptions to that rule, but you know, that's just what I think. But anyways, guys, y'all have a good one. See y'all next time. Help support the channel.